Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is Falco Community Call. Little reminder, we follow the CNCF rules, so be kind to each other. And if you don't want to be recorded, just turn off your camera. I will be the MC today, and we'll start with the last week highlights. Just waiting Federico to stop writing. Okay, so
sorry.
The mic is yours, Federico.
Okay. Yeah, basically I wanted to provide some updates on HRM64. The kernel crawler that we talked about last week is now donated to Falco Security, and its GitHub action is in place. I will share you where is the link in the chat. Moreover, I opened the pull request on DriverKit to support HRM64 builds from DriverKit. Here is the other link. I'm still having some issues in Ubuntu and Debian. I think they are related to the GCC version we are using. I think I will need to update it somehow. I don't really know how to do that, but because there is some dependency that will break if I update GCC, but we will find a way, of course. And I just pushed the pull request on Falco to basically port all Docker images to be multi-arch. So by basically supporting HRM64. I think we are in pretty good shape. We should be on target for the next Falco release. I'm having troubles with DriverKit, as you all know, possibly. I mean, it is quite difficult to get feedback from maintainers and to get things merged. We have also some other pull requests on DriverKit that must be merged. At least the Amazon needs to do a builder script fix that it needs to be merged. I saw that Leonardo proposed himself, wanted to propose himself, as a DriverKit maintainer, and that would, of course, help us quite a bit.
Yeah, I know there are other folks from the community that want to help. I just proposed it myself because I guess the current maintainer have not enough cycle to work on the project. So since I have a good knowledge of Go and also DriverKit, I just proposed myself to help, but I also want to help other folks if they want to become a maintainer. Currently, I opened the PR to add myself to the owner files, and I'm waiting for a feedback from the current maintainer, Leonardo and Lorenzo. Basically,
that's great.
That's it.
Yep. I forgot to share that we have development packages for plugins in place for HRM64. You can find them on downloads.falco.org. I again will share can find the link. And that's it on the HRM64 topic for me.
Okay, thank you. If it's okay for you, Leo and Federico, Jason.
Yeah.
I just wanted to report that the Kubernetes audit-log porting to a plugin was successful. So what happened is that we published a developer version, a developer build of the new plugin implementation, and we dropped the legacy code from Falco that used to implement Kubernetes audit-log support. This implies a couple of changes that can be considered breaking, mostly because the legacy implementation used to deal with rule filter checks kind of differently than what libsysp actually does. I tried to report everything in that bullet list that you can find in the PR, and that's definitely something that will be part of the Falco website documentation when we get to the new release. But that was just like a big step in the refactoring work that we as a community were doing over the past few months. So that's kind of a milestone. Hopefully this will not break anything. We probably will, because everything breaks every time, but yeah, that's just the update that I had. And plus I see Diego, which probably is kind of a newcomer, so if you didn't fill the HackMD name list, please do. Thank you.
Okay. If you are new to this community, please be welcome to introduce yourself to everybody. We are pretty much kind to each other.
Sorry, Thomas, I've added a point in the agenda right now.
Yes, sure.
Can I? Thank you. Basically, it's just a bit quick update on, I think I'm starting to work. Basically, I talked a bit with other maintainers, but also with some plugin authors, and we believe that makes sense to move rule files near to their plugins, instead of having all rules centralized inside the Falco repository as it now. There are several reasons for doing that. One is that the current solution can't scale, because of course, if one day we will have 100 plugins, it's really hard to have 100 rules files inside the Falco repository. And the second reason is also because in this way we will version plugins and their related rules files with the same version number. It's just a task of fixing the building system and the CI. Nothing other of that will change. Just that.
It's just a question about that.
Yeah.
Do you think we should enforce a convention for the structures of repository that contains a plugin? For example, if you create a plugin, you have to put all YAML files for rules under /rules or under /anything else.
Exactly. What I was thinking is just as a confession to use the rules subdirectory. And I want to specify that it's just a convention. What does it mean? This means that if you want to publish automatically your rules in the plugin repository hosted by Falco Security, you have to follow this convention. But if you want to create your own plugin in your repository or whatever you want, you are not forced to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Maybe, for example, there are also plugins that does not have any rule set. For example, the JSON plugin, that's just an extractor plugin that works on payload from other plugins. So,
perfect. Any other topic from someone, or anyone would like to introduce itself?
Sorry, Thomas, I forgot to mention that I'd like to propose myself as a release maintainer for the next Falco release that is coming at the end of May.
Perfect.
+1 from me.
Thanks.
I think we all agree. So,
of course, I will be around as always. So if you need any help.
Of course, I will. Thank you.
You're always there. Your shadow is flying above all of our heads, always. Thank you, Federico and Leo. So if no one has a new topic to discuss today, I think we can end this call. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Just a quick reminder, next week will be, I think, available, but in 2 weeks, we will be, most of us will be at KubeCon. So Falco will have a booth. We have some moments all together, I think. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, and come to discuss with us. We have a lot of things to discuss and do all together. And the last question, like for any other call, who wants to be the MC for next week? You have 1 week to decide. So feel free to add yourself in the HackMD as MC for next week. Or I will do so if no one is available. Thank you, everybody. Have a good week and see you on Slack until next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.